Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain you about the very important concept of mathematics, that is conic section. This conic section comprises of four parts: circle, parabola, ellipse and hyperbola. Now things comes in our mind, how this conic section formed. What is the story behind it? If a right circular, double nap right circular cone, it made it to pass through a plane paper and depends on different positions, these four figures will form. These are circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. We all know what is circle, its properties. Most of you know because we learned it in our lower classes. Now, we will focus much on remaining three parts, that is parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. But it is our duty to understand each and everything about conic section. So without missing anything, let me start from beginning. That is, let me begin my story from the circle. What do you mean by circle? So we all know we have different definitions. Circle is round, yeah. But here we have a very interesting thing. Circle is defined as locus of a point which moves in a plane such that its distance from fixed point in that plane is always constant. Look at this. This is very important. It is defined as locus of a point which moves in a plane such that its distance from a fixed point, that plane, is always constant. The fixed point is called center of the circle and fixed distance is called radius. Now the question comes in our mind, what is the standard equation of a circle? The standard equation of a circle is given by x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square is equal to a square. I will call this as equation 1 for my future presentation, for my future work. Where in this expression, if you observe, along with x and y, we have h and k also, as well as a. So what did h and k indicate? H and k is nothing but center of this particular circle and radius is a unit. Therefore, any circle equation is given by x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square plus y square. So this is very important. Look at this. This thing is there, so it plays a major role. Understood? So fine. So this thing is very important. If center, and keep in mind this particular thing. Okay, so this is very important thing. Now, if these things happen, so what we will do in the next stage? So what we will do here is, the question comes in our mind is that not all time center is 2, 3. There are some situation where circles coincides with origin. In this case, what the equation of circle? Therefore, we have a notation like this. If center of circle is at origin, then above equation assumes x square plus y square equal to a square. Means if center is at origin, means if center is h comma k notation. If it is origin, that is 0, 0, and it assumes the forms x square plus y square equal to a square. Below I have given few examples of a circle. With this you can easily work out with these three equations. Now we will move on to the next case. In the next case, we will discuss what are all the different types of circle we can have. Now, I discussed it as a particular cases of a circle. Now, what will happen? in the first case when the center of circle coincides with origin. So when just now I told you, if centers of circle coincides with the origin, in this case h is also 0, k is also 0. So I will put these h0, k0 in equation 1. Now you may ask the question, what is equation 1? In the previous we learned what is equation 1. We all know equation 1 is nothing but x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square is equal to a square. Therefore, in this case, if h is 0, k is 0, then this equation 1 becomes x square plus y square equal to a square. Now we will discuss the next case. In next case, we have circle pass through the origin. If you observe the figure clearly, the diagram clearly pass through the origin. If suppose circle pass through origin, from that origin we can draw a line so that it can join center of the circle. Now if you draw a perpendicular to x-axis, now we got a right circular, okay, right angular triangle. So we all know Pythagoras theorem. So with this I can say h square plus k square equal to a square. Now if you substitute in place of a square h square plus k square in the equation 1, which I shown you in my first slide, the equation after simplification become x square plus y square minus 2hx minus 2ky equal to 0. In the next case, we have a circle touches x-axis. This is very important. Most of you will confuse. When circle touches the x-axis, I gave a figure also. In this case, circle touches x-axis means if you look at the center and x-axis connection, if you draw a line from center to x-axis that is perpendicular to x-axis, in this case we can say that k is become a, or radius will become k only. And if you substitute that a equal to k in equation 1, you will get x square plus y square minus 2hx minus 2ay plus h square equal to 0. In the next case, after circle touches x-axis, we have circle touches y-axis. In this case, if you observe, it is almost similar to the circle touches x-axis. There we have a equal to k, but here in this case we have a equal to h. What a indicate? A is a radius. So if you substitute in equation 1, we get x square plus y square minus 2ax minus 2ky plus k square equal to 0. In the next case, after circle touches x-axis, circle touches y-axis, the normal question comes in our mind. What if circle touches both axes? If circle touches both axes, see, when circle touches x-axis, h is equal to a. Okay, k equal to a. When circle touches y-axis, it is h equal to a. Now if circle touches both axes, obviously it is h equal to k equal to a. And if you substitute this thing in equation 1, equation 1 becomes x square plus y square minus 2ax minus 2ay plus a square equal to 0. Next is when circle pass through origin and center lies on x-axis. See, read carefully. Circle pass through origin and center lies on x-axis. See, we all know on x-axis boss is x only. Therefore, when a center lies on x-axis means in this case k is absent, means k is 0 and h is equal to a. If you substitute this thing in equation, obviously k is 0, x square plus y square minus 2ax equal to 0. When the circle pass through origin and center lies on y-axis, obviously you can guess here on y-axis boss is y, therefore h is 0, k is a, and equation become x square plus y square minus 2ay equal to 0. Now that's it from the circle. We learned different category of circle. What possible ways are there with the circle. Now based on this, the question comes, we can manage it easily with this particular idea. So this is the first part of conic section. Now we will move on to the second part of conic section, that is parabola. By seeing title, I guess it is a bit difficult to analyze parabola. But if I say like this, if you throw ball in air, it will never go upward. It will go upward, but due to gravity, it will come down, and it creates certain path. Okay, while traveling from up to down to up to down, it creates a path. That path is called as a parabola. Okay, so now what is parabola? So parabola, it is defined like this. It is the locus of a point which moves in a plane such that its distance from a fixed point in the plane is always equal to its distance from fixed straight line in the same plane. It is defined as locus of a point which moves in a plane such that its distance from a fixed point in the plane is always equal to its distance from a fixed straight line in the same plane. Means if you take any point on the figure parabola, if you take a distance from fixed point on the coordinate axis, that point on parabola to that fixed point distance is always equal to that point on parabola to some fixed line distance. Therefore, it is called as a parabola. A fixed point in this parabola is called focus, and fixed straight line is called directrix of the parabola. This is very important. The fixed point is called focus. This thing focus you will study everywhere in almost every concept of the conic section. So the fixed point is called focus and fixed straight line is called directrix of the parabola. And the very important thing in parabola is, in future I will show you the diagram of this. There you will easily understand what is the how it looks like. The double ordinate through the focus is called latus rectum or latus rectum of a parabola. So here you will study a new term in parabola, that is latus rectum. What it will say is latus rectum of a parabola is a chord passing through the focus and perpendicular to the axis. This is very important. See here in this particular parabola diagram, if I show you this particular point, let me show you. See, what is parabola means? If you take any point here, and if you take this particular distance, it should come straight. Don't worry, it should come straight. If you take this distance and this distance, for a parabola it should be always equal. Say for example, if this has 4 centimeter, then if it is a parabola, then this distance is also 4 centimeter. So this is very important thing. And this particular line is called directrix, and this is called as a latus rectum of the line. Now there are few results related to the parabolas. So there are 4 kinds of parabolas we have. One is y square equals to 4ax, y square equals to minus 4ax, then x square equals to 4ay, then x square equals to minus 4ay. So these are the 4 types of parabolas we have. Now for these parabolas we have few categories: coordinate of the vertex. So for all such parabolas, vertex is origin only 0, 0, and in first case of parabola, focus is given by a, 0. Y square equals to 4x is a parabola symmetrical about x-axis. Y square equal to minus 4x is a parabola symmetrical about negative x-axis. X square equals to 4ay is a parabola symmetrical about positive y-axis, and x square equals to minus 4ay is a parabola symmetrical about negative y-axis. And in the first case of parabola, focus is a, 0. In second case of parabola, focus is minus a, 0. In third case of parabola, focus is 0, a, and in the last case of parabola, focus is 0, minus a. In the first case of parabola, directrix equation is given. Just now I shown that the backward line, it is given by x equal to minus a, and for second case x equal to a. For third case it is y equal to minus a, and for the last case it is y equal to a. And equation of axis in first case of parabola is y equal to 0, second case y equal to 0, but in rest two parabola equation of axis is x, 0. Length of latus rectum. So I just know told latus rectum is a line which passes through the focus and perpendicular to the axis. So length of latus rectum in all 4 cases of parabola is given by 4a unit, as length is always positive. So though if you got negative answer, so then you need to mention it in terms of positive with units. And focal distance of a point. Now what is focal distance? Focal distance is nothing but distance of any point on the parabola to the focus is a focal distance. And for these parabolas, focal distance formula is for first case x plus a unit, second case a minus x unit, third case y plus a unit, and last case y minus a unit. You can easily compute it with the knowledge of the parabola. In the next case, we'll discuss the next case of conic section, that is ellipse. Okay, so what is ellipse? So it is defined as a locus of a point in the plane which moves in the plane in such a way that the ratio of its distance from a fixed point in the same plane to its distance from a fixed straight line is always constant, which is always less than unity. So it is a locus of a point in a plane which moves in the plane in such a way that the ratio of its distance from a fixed point in the same plane to its distance from fixed straight line is always constant, which is less than unity. So again it is same thing only. The fixed point is called focus and fixed line is called directrix of the ellipse. And very importantly, for an ellipse, eccentricity is always less than unity. So what is eccentricity? Eccentricity shows us that how uncircular the curve is. Okay, so what is ellipse? So ellipse, if I give a very good example, so planets revolve around the sun in an elliptical orbit. So it is not looks like circle, but it's in an elliptical eggy shape. The distance of any point on the ellipse from foci is known as its focal distance. Just now I spoke about focal in a parabola. Now this how the ellipse looks like. Oval shape with this in the diagram S and S dash are focus, and together we'll call it as a foci. Foci is someone pronounces as a foci, someone will pronounce as a foci. So it is up to you. And there they mention x equal to a by e, x equal to minus a by e. No, so it is called as a directrix of the ellipse. Now p of x comma y is any point on the ellipse. A and a dash are called as a vertices of an ellipse. So it is called as a comma 0 minus a comma 0. And one thing you keep in mind, if foci lies on x-axis, then it is called as a major axis. Otherwise, the remaining line is called as a minor axis. Therefore, here in this diagram, x-axis foci present. Therefore, x-axis is a major axis, y-axis is a minor axis. Not all cases we have on x-axis major, okay, foci. In some cases we have on y-axis also foci. So in such case, y-axis become major axis and x-axis will become minor axis. So foci will decide which line is major, which line is minor. Now next we have two types of ellipse. One is x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. So one thing you keep in mind, the very important thing is the standard equation of ellipse is given by x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, where a greater than b. And you can observe clearly here foci lies on the x-axis, therefore x-axis will be the major axis. If you observe the second diagram, there you have x square by b square plus y square by a square equal to 1, where a is again greater than b, or you can say b is less than a. Okay, so in this case center is given by 0 0 in both case. Equation of major axis is given by y equal to 0, x equal to 0, into equation of minor axis is given by, in first case, x equal to 0, next y equal to 0. Length of major axis in first case of ellipse is 2a, and in second case is again 2a. Length of minor axis in first case is 2b, and in second case is 2b. So this is a very important. So length of major axis, minor axis. So foci in first case is plus or minus a comma 0, 0 comma plus or minus a. So this is very important. See there, I want to tell you one thing. This is make a small correction, please. So length of major axis is 2a, and if you see, I want to tell you one thing. If you take it, the ellipse as x square by a square plus y square by b square, where b is greater than a, in this case it become 2a, but in this case they have told x square by b square plus y square by a square only, where again a is greater than b only. So ellipse major axis is remain 2a only. And equation of directrix is given by x equal to plus or minus a by e, y equal to plus or minus a by e. And eccentricity formula is given by E is equal to under root a square minus b square by a square. For both case, length of lattice rectum is given by 2b square by a. Okay, and I shared with you other information about ellipse also. Now we will move on to the very important thing, that is hyperbola. So what do you mean by hyperbola? So it is the locus of a point in plane which moves in a plane such a way that the ratio of its distance from a fixed point in the same plane to its distance from a fixed line is always constant ratio, which is always greater than unity. So what they want to say is ratio of distance from a fixed point in the same plane to its distance from a fixed line is always constant ratio, which is greater than unity. Therefore, this is very important for ellipse. Eccentricity is always greater than unity. The line on which Posa's lies or foci, you can say focus or foci. The line on which focus lies is called transverse axis, and line through the center which is perpendicular to transverse axis is called conjugate axis. The major difference between ellipse and hyperbola is there we will utter the word major and minor axis, but here we will utter the axis as a transverse axis, conjugate axis. In a case of ellipse, if foci lies on x-axis, then x-axis is major, y-axis is minor. But in case of hyperbola, if foci lies on x-axis, for hyperbola it is called as a transverse axis, and y-axis is called as a conjugate axis. Now there is a concept called by name conjugate hyperbola. So what do you mean by conjugate hyperbola? It means to say that the hyperbola whose transverse and conjugate axes are respectively conjugate and transverse axis of a given hyperbola, and it is called as conjugate hyperbola. So this is very important. The hyperbola whose transverse and conjugate axes are respectively conjugate and transverse axis is called as a conjugate hyperbola. Now this is how the hyperbola looks like. It will never become a round. Therefore, for hyperbola, eccentricity is always greater than 1. So the arrow mark shows a vertex. F1, F2 are focused to the foci they will call. Look at the arrow mark, they told transverse axis as well as conjugate axis, and the center is origin in this particular case. Now the normal question comes in our mind, what is the standard equation of a hyperbola? Now if you observe, this is how the hyperbola looks like. In the first case, focus lies on axis, therefore it's a transverse axis, conjugate axis. In the first case, focus lies on the x-axis, so it's transverse axis, and y-axis is conjugate axis. And if focus or foci lies on y-axis, in this case y-axis become transverse axis and x-axis will become conjugate axis. And rest all terminology, it's in front of you only, you can manage it very easily, which is vertex, which is focus. Okay. In the next case, we have a concept just now I told, rectangular hyperbola. So rectangular hyperbola means a hyperbola whose asymptotes are perpendicular to each other is called as a rectangular hyperbola. Now what is asymptote? Asymptote is a line that touches the curve at infinity, means though the curve extends, though the line extends, they will never meet. It looks like they will meet, so such thing is called as asymptote. Okay, so there is a concept. If you observe the diagram, so in between the curve they have two lines which is perpendicular to each other, and between these two curves they have drawn a rectangle. So such concept is called as a rectangular hyperbola. For rectangular hyperbola, eccentricity is √2, so it won't violate my definition of a hyperbola, because for hyperbola eccentricity is always more than 1. Now we have standard equation of hyperbola, it is x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1, or in second case we have minus x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, or you can say y square by b square minus x square by a square equal to 1, or if you multiply both sides by minus, it will become x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to minus 1. So in this case, center is given by, in both cases, origin. Length of transverse axis is 2a in first case of hyperbola, second case 2b. Length of conjugate axis in first case is 2b, second case is 2a. And the foci in first case is given by plus or minus a, 0, 0, plus or minus b. Equation of directrices is given by x equal to plus or minus a by e, y equal to plus or minus b by e. And eccentricity is given by E equal to under root a square plus b square by a square, or 1 plus b square by a square under root. In second case, a square by b square plus 1 or 1 plus a square by b square. So this is the eccentricity formula for these two hyperbola. Latus rectum for two hyperbola is 2b square by a in first case, 2a square by in second case. So rest all, okay, equation of transverse axis, equation of conjugate axis, everything is in front of you. You can easily manage with by these things easily. Now what is important in this case is overall I want to say you what is the hyperbola is. It gives a clear-cut idea, and just now I told when a right circular nap, double napped right circular nap is made it to pass through a plane, so it forms a four geometry. Okay, so they are called as a circle, ellipse, hyperbola, parabola. So it is very important to study the nature. Okay, see when we throw okay cricket ball in air, it will go up and it will travels parabolic path. Okay, and then all planets revolve around the sun in elliptical orbit. See, to study okay in-depth idea, we need a certain parameters. So these are very important to learn all these things. Therefore study of conic section is very important, though they have okay sometimes they'll give less importance to such chapters, but no need to worry. So whoever give less importance, we should always give important to the any chapter, because every concept has its own importance. Okay, so that's it from the conic section. So we will meet you in the next session with the very good idea and some extended version of a few concepts. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.